Okay, we're here to review step number 27. This one's called The Frontman and the 2 Ways to Pick Your Trenchmate. Insider tricks on assembling your support team. And the question right off the bat is, do you have some good allies? You'll need them as you go through life and do big things. And then we have a citation from Dr. David Buss, the evolutionary psychologist that Ty cites a lot. And he says, certain things we have adapted to need, and one is your need to create coalitions. Never forget the fact that we're social creatures and we evolved to do things socially. You're going to war every day, whether you realize it or not. And in a specialized world of 7 billion people, you're constantly participating in an exchange. You probably didn't grow the cotton that made your t-shirt, and you probably didn't cut down the wood that was used to build your house. You exchanged in a win-win or a Pareto efficiency scenario. Someone provided a service or product for you, and in exchange for that, you either gave them money, you bartered, or gave them a product and or service. And these successful exchanges become more and more important as you try to move through the money management triangle that Ty talks about. First is financial independence, then you move to prosperity, then you move to wealth, and then most importantly, you move up to the tip of the iceberg, and that's impact. And developing your coalition can also be called your trenchmates, just like in war. You need them because you're at war with the decay of your body. You're at war in business because your competitors are trying to steal your customers and, if nothing else, just get their attention. Even if you're the only person that does what you do, everything's trying to pickpocket your attention, and everyone's trying to get the dollar of somebody else. And you're also at war in the love pillar because you're competing to get the man or the woman of your dreams. And by competing, I mean somebody else is trying to most likely acquire that person too. So not only are you trying to acquire the man or woman of your dreams, you're trying to keep them as well. And you're also at war with the things that make you unhappy. These are the things that you don't like about yourself. And everybody has things they don't like about themselves. And it's tough to gain solid ground by yourself, but it's much easier when you have a strong coalition to back you up. And of course the question becomes, how do you pick your trenchmates? How do you pick your coalition? Because you better pick wisely or you're gonna be in for some pain. And we can go straight to the top, as Ty always says, and start with Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett says he looks for 3 things when he's picking his allies. First is energy, second is intelligence, and third is integrity. And he said, God help you if they have the first 2 and don't have the third, because that can really screw your business. But Ty actually abbreviates this list, and he looks for one thing primarily, and that's loyalty. He says there's nothing worse than training a great employee, teaching them everything you know, turning him to a great asset just for them to leave your company and work for somebody else. And he says to go through your allies and rank them 1 to 10 on loyalty. Now, the hard part, the uncomfortable part. He says, look back at your life and who has been disloyal to you. Could you have seen it coming? Obviously, yes, unfortunately. In general, loyalty is easier to achieve if you pick someone who is opposite of your strengths. They complement you. So back to the PACE system, practical, action, social, and emotional that we talked about. If you're a practical person, you should really team up with either an action and or a social person, and vice versa. You know, people are often not well-rounded, but you want to have a well-rounded team. You want to have allies that can shore up your weaknesses. Charlie Munger, the business partner of Warren Buffett, says, find someone who loves the spotlight and then team up with someone who doesn't like the spotlight. You'll see that Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger do this. Warren Buffett seems to me that he kind of more is the outgoing person, the more social person, more affable, likes to be the kind of public face of Berkshire Hathaway. And then it seems what makes it work is that Charlie Munger is the more private, practical, quiet person and is perfectly happy being kind of the back end of the business. And he also says he doesn't hire based on interviews, because when you hire when you have an applicant that you only hire based on interviews, they could have simply just become very good actors and good at interviews. He says Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett says they interview acquaintances, referrals, and references of the applicant because it's all about the background information. A second approach that big companies use is they do interviews for applicants, but they do them over like a period of a year and do up to 25 different interviews because they want to see how that applicant is in different scenarios. And they'll actually sometimes kind of create, they'll manifest certain scenarios like taking the applicant out to dinner, and then they'll pre-arrange for the waiter or waitress to kind of screw up the applicant's order to see how they react. They'll also count the number of times that the applicant says thank you and shows generosity to the staff. And others do a combination of both. Sometimes big companies, I've learned that big companies sometimes have to make all the leaders, the decision makers, agree on the applicant unanimously. Ty says to be most careful in your love and business allies. These are the two big ones. You know, if you pick, a bad personal trainer for the health pillar, that's not so bad. You can always pick another personal trainer, another coach. But God help you if you pick the wrong business partner or have a child with the wrong person, because that's going to be a lifetime of nightmares. So the questions at the end of this episode are, who is your best ally right now and why? And who is your worst ally right now and why? Thanks so much for subscribing to this channel. Please leave any comments about these videos, anything you're getting out of them, or any tips and tricks to make them better, because I'm open-minded and I just want to have these videos benefit you more and more each next video. But thanks for watching. I'll see you on review number 28. Take care.